Everett with 4 points for a hit in the green area, 8 points for a bullseye. 4 more points for Steve DeBerg. The top 2-point producers in the accuracy championship qualify for a shootout, and the winner of that gets a $15,000 prize. Bill, another crossing pattern and another strike for Steve DeBerg. 4 more
to make the catch.
Here's the toughest throw now, a 50-yard throw to a moving target down the field. That bullseye just 12 inches in diameter, and Steve DeBerg is off target on his final throw, but he had a good first round in the accuracy championship, and he's gone to the top with a 22-point total. Next up is Dan Marino, second to Joe Montana as the NFL's all-time passer.
This is the ultimate forward passer, Don. He has size, strength, the quickest delivery in football, throwing off that front foot. I'm not sure he liked that one, but this is the guy that can do everything. Could go down as the greatest of all time.
Now Marino goes to a moving target.
Beautiful shot. Notice that knee brace.
Berg in the accuracy championship if he hits the deep throw. Off target.
That's the toughest throw of all. Usually the quarterback will anticipate throwing that, throw it very early, let the receiver go for it.
He'll throw the most difficult one, the 50-yard pass. Looking good, and Warren Moon connects for 10 points. He goes to first place. DeBerg is now second, and Dan Marino's out of any chance for a playoff position.
That post, man.
The final throw, that deep 50-yard downfield throw. Boom, another strike by O'Brien. He is the accuracy champion. He'll be going to the shootout with Warren Moon.
Don, that was a brilliant demonstration of pinpoint passing. Kenny hit every target. Warren Moon did well, but I'm not sure we'll see again that kind of pinpoint passing from any of these quarterbacks.
Well, back on the Hawaiian island of Kauai, a fabulous panorama of volcanic mountains and Pacific surf. It's the NFL Quarterback Challenge. 2 of the 5 tests have been completed. We have just completed the touch passing championship. Jim Everett of the Los Angeles Rams excelled there with 50 overall points. Dan Marino and Jim Hart tied for second, and those 3, Everett, Marino, and Hart, went to a shootout for the $15,000 first prize.
This kind of pass is critical in the NFL. It's a zone pass where you throw it over one defender and drop it into a hole, and that's just what they have here. A golf cart with a target on it, and you drop it into that basket that's much like that touch pass along the sidelines against the zone defense.
Just like he's thrown it downfield to Henry Eller, Jim Everett with that perfect throw into the basket wins the $15,000 check, the shootout winner in the touch passing competition. Now the overall standings show Dan Marino and Jim Hart tied for the lead. Jim Hart, the retired veteran from the Cardinals. Jim Everett now running third. And now we come to Jim Hart tied for second. Hart's an interesting story, Bill.
This guy, Jim Hart, is, in my opinion, the most underrated quarterback that's ever played. A great performer for many years. Never won the championship, but he carried his team to the playoffs time and time again.
There's Joe Theismann, who did lead his team, the Redskins, to an NFL Super Bowl title. He's here by virtue of winning the Golden Quarterback Challenge. That's the seniors division.
Joe's in great shape for his age, but I think he's lost just a little bit with his leg. Oh, missed the target. He was off balance when he threw, maybe a little bit fatigued.
And an additional 1 second makes his time 11.1 for missing the target. For the Giants for 7 seasons. Of injury to Phil Simms late in the season projected him into the starting role, Jeff Hostetler, in the Super Bowl. He passed and led the Giants to that 1-point victory over the Buffalo Bills.
You know, he's such a cool performer. The poise, the confidence he played with, really, I think, set a standard for the rest of the team, and he's tough.
He had to be there as big sack daddy Leon Fields nailed him. He was dinged for a while, but he got back up and led the way.
For the guy that threw only 87 passes all year, he shows so much poise, and the leadership quality there that's been sort of hidden for 7 years on the bench just demonstrated itself winning the world title.
This summer, Hostetler is competing with Simms for the starting job. The man who led the Giants to that Super Bowl win, Bill Parcells, as you know, has stepped down. The new coach, Ray Hanley, says either man's job to win.
Well, basically, this is
Virginia in 1984, where he was a first-team All-American.
Now, he should do very well at this. He's such an active, mobile quarterback, even in game situations. And, oh, they just aren't prepared to throw the ball because they're running so hard.
Yeah, they're unable to plant the...
Notre Dame football coming this fall on NBC.
Down throws. He was one of the leading rushers in the NFC with over 940 yards. Must consider now that the timing comes from the time that the ball is picked up out of the stand until it hits the target.
Beautiful coordination and agility. This is one of the great athletes of all time related to the game of football. He's sprinting hard into that box, throws, and does hit the target.
The time of 9.6, not as good as you might expect from Randall.
I'm just happy that I hit that darn target because it looked like it was about this far off. Beautiful thing.
Well, he hit the target.
I'm getting rid of this.
Now we'll watch Jim Everett, who has the most passing yards in the last 3 seasons in the NFL. The big, strong-arm quarterback out of Purdue.
Big, smooth athlete. Good long strides. I think he would have been more of an 800-meter type athlete. But around that corner, now he's getting the ball up early.
And a good time, 9.4, second fastest so far.
Take it. You got a calendar on that one?
Really, Jim was very efficient in the way he did it. Not so much the fastest, but he didn't waste any motion, and he threw the ball quickly.
And that strong performance by Jim Everett has now moved him past Dan Marino into #1 overall in the competition.
Look at the mobility of these guys.
And now it'll be Dan Marino's turn to try to take back the top spot from Jim Everett.
Well, Dan doesn't lack in confidence. He challenged Randall Cunningham, told him he was going to beat him. Now he has a chance.
Let's see if he can back it up. Marino moving gingerly with that heavily braced left knee. Here comes his strong suit, the throw. It's a bullseye for Dan Marino.
Well, he depended on that arm, Don. It was a beautiful shot, and he threw early, very early.
There you go.
That saves time throwing early, and he does get the half-second bonus. So Dan Marino, excelling in an area that he was not expected to, regains #1 overall in the quarterback challenge. In the statistical area, #2 overall behind Montana in NFL passing numbers career. And a high-five salute for Dan Marino, who lost the lead for a moment to Jim Everett, now gets it back. Points leader with 120. Jim Everett now #2 in the passing competition. Coming in.
Who do the pros call for an all-pro deal on hot, delicious pizza? Who do you think?
Hello, Domino's Pizza.
Call now for Domino's kickoff deal. 2 medium cheese pizzas with 4 servings of Coca-Cola Classic or Diet Coke for just $9.99. And get free NFL quarterback trading cards.
Only from Domino's. Now you call.
Randall Cunningham, 76 yards on his first throw. Steve DeBerg.
So far.
And here's the Super Bowl standout, Jeff Hostetler, looking for to improve on a 71-yard opening throw.
Jeff, as you look at him closely, he's really a well-built athlete. He looks weight. But he's well-coordinated, well-proportioned.
And he's right out there. Not up to Cunningham's first try, but close.
A year ago when we did this, the wind was blowing much harder and the ball got out of control so much more quickly. This is a little more legitimate as far as testing each guy.
Rader has to stay within the boundaries now or he's out of the competition. He does. Fouled on his first throw, gets off a beauty on his second. 75 yards. Good for 50 points.
Well, that's it for Jay, too, isn't it? His last throw, his only throw.
That throw is what you win or lose with. Randall Cunningham is the distance champion with a 76-yard throw, but he's going to put up another one anyway.
He's going to really take a run at it this time down.
Looking to get more points towards the overall championship.
Oh, he did it. That's so better. That's way up better.
77-yarder, best of the day, and a 54-point total for Randall Cunningham on the long-distance throw. He's the winner. Cunningham. Jim Everett's team gets fired up for a big putt. Birdie try by Everett. Pretty emotional time, that birdie putt. These guys are ready to put on the pads and start hitting. The final phase, the read and recognition, is coming up after these words from your local station. In the final of the 5 tests, the read and recognition.